Hey, I'm glad you're here. And I want to say that carefully because I know that if you're listening to this, something probably just hurt you. And when we're hurt in that particular way, the way that involves another person not seeing us or pulling away or making us feel like too much or not enough, it takes something to reach for support instead of just sitting alone inside of it. My name is Angela. I'm a licensed therapist, and this one is close to me. Not just professionally, but personally. The specific ache of feeling misunderstood by someone you wanted to be known by is something I don't think ever fully loses its weight. You just get better at knowing what to do with it. Let's just be honest about what's happening. Something occurred between you and another person, or felt like it did, and now there's a wound that is specifically about mattering, about being seen, about whether you're acceptable as you actually are. Maybe someone pulled away without explanation. Maybe something you shared wasn't received the way you hoped. Maybe you were dismissed or talked over or made to feel like your reaction was the problem. And now you're sitting in the loneliness of that. Whatever it was, it touched something real. And I want you to know, the fact that it hurts this much doesn't mean you're too sensitive. It means you're someone who actually wanted connection. And that's not a weakness. That's one of the most human things there is. Begin by taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly let it go. Again, breathe in. Allow your lungs to fill with air. And release. Now let's come into your body. Notice where this is living right now. Rejection and misunderstanding have a particular physical signature, and for a lot of people, it's in the chest. There's a hollowness or a heaviness, something that almost feels like a physical wound, even though nothing physical happened. Find where it is for you. And instead of bracing against it or trying to think your way out of it, just let it be there for a moment. Place your hand over it if that feels okay. This feeling is not going to swallow you. I know it feels enormous right now, but it won't stay that way forever. You're just going to let it exist for a moment without fighting it. I want you to breathe toward it. Let's try that again. Breathe toward the feeling, even if you can't name what it is. It's there. Now I want to name something that I think is important. Underneath the hurt, there's probably a story that started forming the moment it happened. And that story isn't just that was painful. It's something more personal than that. Something like, this is what happens when I let my guard down. I knew I was too much for them. I should have known better than to think that this would be different. Something about me makes people leave or pull back or not fully show up. That story feels like an observation right now. It feels like the truth you've finally stopped avoiding. But I want you to hear this. You are in the rawest possible moment to evaluate your own worth. The pain of rejection activates something much older than this situation. A place in you that formed its beliefs about itself long before this person ever appeared. And that place is not objective. It's scared. And it's hurting. And it is looking for an explanation that makes sense of the pain. The explanation it reaches for, something is wrong with me, is not the truth. It's the most available story, and there's a difference. There's also a layer underneath the story that I want to name. Because for a lot of people, the hurt of rejection isn't just the rejection itself. It's the shame of being affected by it. I shouldn't care this much. I'm so pathetic for letting this get to me. Why do I always need so much from other people? If that voice is there, I want you to hear this directly. Needing to feel seen and valued by the people you're close to is not pathetic. It is not neediness. It is one of the most fundamental human needs there is. The shame you feel about feeling it is not evidence that the need is wrong. It's evidence that somewhere along the way, you learned that having needs made you a burden. And that's not true either. Take one more slow breath in through your nose. And gently exhale. The pain you're feeling right now is real. And it will move because you let it exist without making it mean something permanent about who you are. You don't need this one person's understanding to be okay. You don't need this one moment to define what's possible for you. And you don't need to figure out right now what it means or what to do about it. Right now, you just needed somewhere to put this down for a moment. And you did that. If this kind of pain feels familiar, if rejection or feeling misunderstood tends to hit you in a place that feels much older than the current situation, that's worth getting curious about. And if you ever want to go deeper than the moment, to understand what might be happening underneath these reactions instead of just moving through them, I've created longer guided reflection audios for that. And you can find them in the description below. For now, take good care of yourself.